Alright, so I don't know for sure, 100% if this made it into the book of Guinness World Records, but we do now have, to the best of my knowledge, the smallest machine gun ever. Ever. And one of the important things you need to understand about this is if you'd like to help support the channel, shop at onlytechfans.com. Now, I had the orders at a $30 threshold to get the free mystery patch, which I can't show you. I can't tell you what it is, and I definitely can't sell it because I totally botched the design and it looks like something that's absolutely not supposed to. Unfortunately, this is my last Freedom Beanie, which I'm sure will probably sell at some point today. So I'm moving the threshold down to 20 bucks. Any order over $20, you get the free mystery patch. Anyways, appreciate all you guys' support. None of this would be possible without you guys behind me. So, back to the smallest machine gun. Because the ATF does not operate on laws, like there isn't like a book you can open up and find out the law on something. Yeah, you can find out the law they based what they're doing off of, but they operate off of opinions. Well, Firearm goes into Fat D, which is where they go and they test things, and they make determinations what is not, how the world works, is the earth flat? Well, in this particular Flat Earth Convention, they determined this little broken piece of metal that had fallen, this is what the metal looks like right here, so we're talking about something like maybe the size of this pen tip, had fallen into a binary trigger and caused it to malfunction. It's not the binary trigger's fault, it's not the gun's fault, it's not the person who was using the firearm's fault. So that little piece of metal had fallen into the binary trigger, therefore that little piece of metal is a machine gun. They actually said this. And remember, these aren't like dudes on YouTube that make mistakes. We're talking about federal agents with a license to kill, arrest, and maim. I don't know about you, but I think somebody that has a license to kill, arrest, and maim should be held at a little bit higher standard than, say, a dude on YouTube. That's just my opinion, though. So, they determined this little piece of sliver is a machine gun. Now, I'm unclear whether or not they're prosecuting the guy over a metal shard. I gotta look into that. I'll see if I can't figure it out before I put this video up, and I'll annotate it right here, yes or no. The point is, they can turn anything into a machine gun. I think the message they're really trying to send here is no one's safe. It doesn't matter what you do. They can come and get you and flip your world upside down without any forethought, without any sort of like, oh, here's a letter, you're doing something wrong. No, they just come in, shoot your dog, arrest you, strip you out of your house, and throw you into a cage till they see fit to release you, and or the United States court system determines what they did was irrelevant, but even that's pretty bad because by the time you go through the process, and make no mistake, the process is the punishment. You will be into it for anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000 to find out that, oh, they're just being ridiculous. Ooh, oopsie doopsie, we're ready to go, which circles back around to how are they not held at a higher standard? You would think if they have a big oopsie doopsie, like, I don't know, determining a sliver of metal as a machine gun or a drawing as a machine gun, that there would be some sort of consequences to ensure they're not going to make an oopsie doopsie like that again. Using my case as an example, they showed up with machine guns to detain me. They couldn't send me a letter and be like, hey, we need you here. Of course I would have shown up, but they didn't send a letter. No, they showed up with a machine gun. What if, like, they're like mistaken that I'm trying to like draw a gun on them or something and I die because they made an oopsie doopsie and determined a drawing to be a machine gun? Where are the repercussions? Where's the oversight to ensure something like that doesn't happen? Because I'm pretty sure if you and like 6 or 7 of your buddies show up to somebody's house with machine guns for whatever reason, you're going to jail. And you're going to jail for a minute. Especially the person who said that we should do this. So where's the oversight to protect against this? And that's what I would really like to see. Like, everything I'm going through has really highlighted the need for oversight. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're talking about a constitutional right. They have no right to even do anything about firearms, but our parents and grandparents had made a mistake. The mistake was shrouded in that all these laws are racist anyway, so just let them go through because they're just going to affect people that aren't us. You know, we're white. These laws are made for blacks and Indians, so, you know, who really cares? That was a mistake. It should have never happened. It was basically the same thing as the COVID lockdowns. Once you gave the government a little bit of power, they went and abused it to a level none of us could have ever foreseen. So, yeah, that needs to be corrected. We're correcting it now. However, you know, it takes a minute. So the next thing that's coming up is, so once upon a time, there was a tragedy that happened at FedEx. Well, the families of this tragedy, and I get your pain. I do. Like, and you just want to feel like you can do something. I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm like, man, we need ATF oversight because, yeah, the repercussions of their answers, the repercussions of their law theory, the repercussions of their opinions can cost people's lives. There should be oversight. So, like, I get where you're coming from. I do. Understand the door you're trying to open here, because what they're trying to do is sue American Tactical Inc. for putting out a 60-round magazine saying that there was no safeguards put into place to prevent this guy from shooting people. Well, first off, what honest safeguards? I mean, don't just come up with a question. If you're coming with lawsuits and stuff, you should come with an answer, not just a question. Like, my answer is they need oversight. Somebody that can be held responsible when they make an opinion that gets people killed. And look in history. Their opinions get people killed consistently. So, you can't just come with the question, what safeguards did they put in place to prevent people from committing tragedies? You need to come with an answer. If you have a good answer and you feel it should be applied, like, let's pretend you're like, well, hey, you know, this 60-round magazine, it could be used to hurt people. We have this brand new AI system, or artificial intelligence for people that aren't so computer savvy, or we have some sort of system that could have totally been totally integrated into this magazine to ensure it can't hurt innocent people. That's different. That's when you're like, hey, there's negligence here. This could have been prevented, and this is how. This is why we're suing. You're just trying to sue to sue. You have no answer other than you don't believe they should exist. And unfortunately, there's something called the Second Amendment. You don't get a choice. That's a protected right. I mean, if you're going to go after protected rights, what's to stop somebody from suing you for putting out a lawsuit, violating your First Amendment right, or talking about, suing you for talking about this magazine under a bad light? Well, it's protected by your First Amendment. However, the magazine itself is protected by the Second Amendment. We've already had Supreme Court decisions on this. So what they're attempting to do is sue this magazine company, and they're opening the door. You got to put it into perspective. You don't sue, like, Shell for putting gas in a car that fueled the car that a drunk driver used to get into a drunk driver accident, because there's no way Shell could have known. And you can't just remove gas. It's not possible. Again, you can't just remove magazines. It's not possible. For everyone you attack, you're going to create a void in the market, and 2 more startup companies are going to fill that void, if not more. And it's possible those startup companies grow to a size way bigger than the original company. This isn't something you can, like, sue out of existence. It doesn't work that way. You got supply and you got demand. You sue this company out of business, the supply goes low, it creates a vacuum, more manufacturers fill that vacuum to fill that supply to equal out the demand, and now you have possibly 2, maybe 3, maybe 5, who knows, maybe 10 more manufacturers filling that demand, and their companies could grow and expand and start putting out stuff you definitely don't agree with. Look at what happened to Bushmaster. Well, let me back up even farther. Look at what happened to Wyndham Weaponry. So Wyndham Weaponry, they got sued for putting out a rifle that was used in a tragedy. They sued the business. So the manufacturing tools were still there, and that business was actually called Bushmaster at the time. So they sued Bushmaster out of business, but you still had the factory there. So what did the factory do? They had another company come in, I guess you would call it, or change the name. I don't really know how the legal hoops of that all happened, but So now they became Wyndham Weaponry, and now you got Bushmaster. So now there's two companies doing the exact same thing. You sued the original company for not doing it, and then Bushmaster got sold to Remington, and then you got DPMS, and a whole bunch of other companies, then you went after Remington, and that split off into more companies, and now Franklin Armory has the brand Bushmaster, and they were just making triggers, but now they're making triggers and rifles. Every time you sue, you just branch it out, and it grows. I'm not saying I dislike the growth. I do. It's cool, and it's nice seeing that stuff, but it's just unfair. Like, this person took personal risk, personal gain to establish this company, put his blood, sweat, and tears in it, and you're going to take it away from him just so 5 other companies can pop up. The only person you're hurting is that original person. You think the 5 other companies care what happened to him? They're like, oh, woohoo! We got a market vacuum. Let's fill it and become super popular and possibly filthy rich. So, apologize for the rant on that, but you got to understand your actions. Let's pretend you do actually get away with this and people start suing like Shell or Firestone or GM because of drunk drivers. What do you want? Do you want us all to just ride horseback and then you're going to sue the person who owns the horse because the horse ate someone's grill? Oh, that's kind of different. You get what the point. You get my point, though. The point is that we'll never be allowed to do that. And all you're doing is you're creating a vacuum, which is going to bring more companies in and make the Second Amendment stronger as a whole. You're really kind of like kicking yourself in your own butt while you're moving. Now, I know a bunch of people want to hear from me directly about my trial, case details, stuff like that. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of it right now. I got at least 1 week left before I'm acquitted of all charges. So I don't want to go into detail. I guess I can give you a little something. So, alright. What I can say is, in my opinion, it's going very well. I'm not a trial expert. I'm not a seasoned lawyer. I'm not somebody that's sat in jury ever. So, understand my opinion comes with a grain of salt. My expertise is, I can read people. I can read them very well. I've always been in marketing. I can see when people agree or disagree with you. It's almost like a sixth sense. So that's what I excel in. Again, if you want to make it somewhere in the world, get good at marketing. That skill is universal across the board, and you will thank me for it. So what I'm seeing right here is this is what I determine normal trials are. That's the baseline. That's what you see all the time. What I thought I was going to get for a trial was something like this. Just because the nature of the topic, the politics behind it, that sort of thing. I thought it was going to be bad. This is what I hoped I would get for a trial. Like, this was my wildest dreams. I'm like, dude, if I could have a trial like that, like, I'm golden. This is what I'm actually getting for a trial. It's exceeded all my hopes and dreams of what I ever could have hoped for a trial. And I gotta hand it to Zach, Matt, and Justin's lawyer. What the hell's his name? King something. Dude, they are doing a bang-up job. These guys are real American heroes. Like, after this, make sure to send them thank you letters. Like, they're killing it. If something goes sideways, it is absolutely not their fault. They are just animals for lawyers. It's pretty heartwarming watching them work. Like, their ability to just draw out the truth and be like, hey, I understand these are the lies they want you to believe. This is the truth. Look at it. It's beautiful. You can't hide it. You can't hide from the truth. I know they're trying to say that this stuff happened, but here's the proof. This is the truth. So, that's as far as I'm going to go into that. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to help support my channel, again, don't forget, shop at onlytacticalfans.com. Or, if you just want to do some Amazon shopping, just click on my link beforehand. Just clicking on that link. Even if you don't purchase that particular link is for, just clicking on it. Doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway, and a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.